Today we are looking at a fantastic turn of phrase in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. We're going to start out with the first two verses to set the context for the verse in question for us, which is verse 3. And here are verses 1 and 2 in the ESV. Now concerning the times and seasons, brothers, you have no need to have anything written to you. For you yourselves are fully aware that the day of the Lord will come like a thief in the night. So first, Paul describes the day of the Lord, the coming of Christ, in regard to its manner. What is the manner of his coming going to be like? Like a thief in the night. How does a thief in the night come? Just by virtue of coming after nightfall, there's an element of stealth involved, right? You don't see him coming. If you saw him coming, you would set a guard. You wouldn't be subject to the thief in the night. He comes stealthily without you seeing him coming. In our passage, we're going to shift from the manner of his coming, the stealthiness of it, to the inevitability, the certainty of his coming. So let us move on and take a look at verse 3. While people are saying, there is peace and security, then sudden destruction will come upon them as labor pains come upon a pregnant woman, and they will not escape. So there's a lot here. We're going to rush through the first part of it and get to that really pithy, awesome turn of phrase. So let's take a look at the verse in Greek. Hotan legosin. Hotan was our word of the week last Wednesday. Hotan, whenever, and then we get a form of lego in the subjunctive, third person plural here. Whenever they should say, or whenever they might say, erene, peace, kai asphaleia, security, peace and security. This word for security is great. So we know erene from an old word of the week, peace meaning the absence of conflict. And then we get asphaleia, which is the negated form of sphalo, which means no tripping. There's peace, no conflict, and there's not even anybody trying to trip us up. Okay? So when they should say peace and security, we're told in the next clause, the next phrase, then eiphnedios autois ephistatai olethros. So then sudden destruction shall come upon them. So shall stand on them, right? It's going to put its foot on them. Sudden destruction will put its foot on them. When they're saying, if they should say, whenever they should say, peace and security, that's when it's going to hit them. So remember, we were already told the day of the Lord will come like a thief in the night, stealthy. You don't see it coming, sneaking up on you. That's tremendous stuff. Now we get to this magnificent turn of phrase, the part that I love. Let's take a look. Hosper he odin te engastri ekuse kai ume ekfugosin. So hosper, in the same way, likewise, he odin, the labor pains, the pains related to childbirth, come, because the previous verse said they were going to come, right? Sudden destruction is going to come. And so now we're told, likewise, in the same manner, the labor pains will come. Te engastri ekusin, to the one in the womb having. So what do you call someone who has something in the womb? A pregnant woman, right? So the labor pains come to a pregnant woman. In the same way that labor pains come to a pregnant woman, the day of the Lord shall come. Kai ume ekfugosin, and they shall in no manner, in no way escape it. That's not going to happen. So no matter, it's fantastic, this turn of phrase. I just love it so much. No matter how much they happy talk, peace and security, no matter how much they say, we've heard all that, but it's not coming. Look around. Everything is good. Everything is great. We're not at conflict with anyone. Nobody's trying to trip us up. Things are going okay for us. no matter how much they say that, this event is going to come upon them with the same certainty that labor pains will eventually come upon a pregnant woman. Here's what we know about pregnant women. At some point in time, by hook or by crook, the baby must come out. The baby can't stay in there. The labor pains are an inevitability. It's going to happen. So Paul says to the Thessalonians, I don't need to tell you about the coming. You already know this. The day of the Lord is going to be like a thief in the night, stealthy. You're not going to see it coming. So people who should say or might say peace and security, that say, oh, it's not coming now. Oh, everything's good. Don't worry about that. Don't think about that. He says it's coming stealthily, and it's coming with an inevitability like labor pains coming to a pregnant woman. Those labor pains are coming. Inescapable. The baby must come out of there. And look at that last clause. Kai ume ek phugosen. It's emphatic negation subjunctive. We get two negatives together. U is a negative, me is a negative. Put them together, it's like a supernegative. It's not like the English double negative that contradicts itself and renders it a positive. It's quite the opposite. It emphasizes the negation. And they should in no way escape. They may in no way escape. There's no possibility of escape. If you are in fact a pregnant woman, and think about the ancient world and the lack of ultrasound and I'm trying to remember the name of it, but there's a hormone that women create in their bodies when they are pregnant, and it shows up readily in urine and in blood. And so we can know today quite soon when someone is pregnant. Back then, it took a longer time to know. By the time you could tell somebody was pregnant, here's what you know for sure. There's a baby in there, and at some point that baby's got to come out of there, and that is going to involve pain. So my genius, you've heard me say if you've been watching Koine Corner for any period of time, Paul was a genius. And his turn of phrase is so magnificent. He says, hosper, introducing a simile. This is like that, right? Just like a pregnant woman must eventually at some point experience those birth pains because that baby's got to come out of there, so also the day of the Lord. It's coming like a thief in the night, stealthily, but it's also coming inevitably. It has to happen. The baby can't stay in there. Magnificent, great turn of phrase. And I love the way he describes it. What kind of a woman? One who is having something in the womb. There's a baby in there. There's a person in there. And it's got to come out. And when it comes out, it's going to involve pain. Hodin. Hey, Hodin. The pains associated with labor. Like that is the coming of the day of the Lord. Inevitable. So, how is the day of the Lord coming? According to Paul, writing to the Thessalonians, it's coming stealthy. You don't see it coming to the point that some might say, oh, look, peace and security, everything's good. It's coming stealthily. You don't see it coming, but it's coming inevitably, inescapably, like the pains that a woman carrying a child will experience. Sooner or later, the labor pains come because sooner or later, that baby's got to come out of there. Sooner or later, Paul says, the day of the Lord is that inevitable. Pretty awesome stuff. What a fantastic turn of phrase. What a genius that Paul was. Thanks for watching today, and if it was good for you, you know all the YouTube-y stuff to do. And until next time, Kars Kai Reina Humine, grace and peace to you.